This make is the reason why I decided to restart my sewing journey. Let's talk about it. I don't have a fancy clothing rack to display all of these items on, but I do have a clean bed, and most of these items are not wearable. So let's get into why exactly that is and what I'm going to do about it. Hi, back in October of 2025, I went on a cruise. We called it the Halloween cruise. It was, Halloween themed because it was during October. And we did celebrate Halloween on the cruise. I took that as an opportunity to not only sew myself some clothes to wear on the cruise, but to be really intentional and themed, that I thought that would be a good focus for me. So I made a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 wearable things. 7 are sewn, 1 is knit. Picked up my knitting needles after many, many years. And then I finished 3 quilt tops last year. So we're going to go through all of that. So, the cruise. I wanted spooky things. I tend to like wearing that kind of thing anyway, most of the year. That genre kind of fits into my color palette anyway, so it's kind of an easy thing for me. Let's see, I'm looking at my pile here that's on the bed. I did not buy anything specifically for any of these except for a quilt backing for the quilt. That is all, and I got that as a secondhand consignment sale in November. But all of the fabrics and the yarn were from my stash. It was really nice to get a lot of that out of my stash. But only, let's see, 1, 2, 3, only 3 things, well, 4 things were worn. 3 by me. 1 thing that I did for my son, and he still wears that thing, and I'll show it to you in a minute. And yeah, so 3 things worn by me. 2 of those 3 were the best makes of the bunch. So let's get into some visuals, shall we? Okay, first up, I'll do my son stuff first. So I did 2 makes for him. I wanted to make him a little top short shirt and shorts set for him in this fabric I've had in my stash forever, just a cotton from Joann's, long ago. I only had a yard and a half, so it was kind of stressful to try and figure out if I had enough fabric for both. And I made this to match a top or a suit, that pumpkin suit that everybody wears. My husband wore that on the cruise, so I wanted to make Lucas a matching shirt. I took one of my husband's shirts and altered it down to get the fit and the construction of a button-down shirt for my son. That looked adorable. He wanted to wear that, and I was like, it's not wearable, son. So when I actually cut into this fabric, I wasn't so nervous, and it went really, really well. This pattern is actually too big for him, and so I was able to size it down very easily. And I cut it out, and everything was going really well. I'm very thankful that he forgot that I was making this for him, or he would have bugged me about it, and I would have felt awful. The collar turned out really, really well. A lot of this turned out really, really well. What happened is, see the facing and everything. I mean, it's just darling, right? Did like the little shirt hem on it. What happened is this was like a couple days. I just put this off and put this off. And I had it all cut out. I was like, I just need to sew this thing and get it done. It was a couple days before we left. So I rushed and stopped taking my time. And so the buttonholes got crazy because I've never really done buttonholes for a shirt like this before. They got I was like, how hard can it be? It's like 3 or 4 buttons for a kid's shirt. So they are super off centered, and I even had to like redo them. And then that wasn't bad enough. I went to open the buttonholes and I ripped the fabric. And I just was like, boink, done. And that's where it sat. So now I really don't know what to do with this thing. It's almost perfect. So make number 1, almost make. Make number 2 for him actually turned out great. And he loves this thing and he still wears it. I made this little robe. I have some like little footage of me making it and showing it off. Oh, I'm seeing this needs to be fixed up already. Of course it does. He has worn this thing. He took it to the cruise. Took it on the cruise. Again, it's just, this is like that flannel fabric from Joann's long time ago. And then some terry cloth or like terry towel fabric I've had for a really long time before I even lived in this house. And I made this little robe. I have some footage of him wearing it. And this went great. The fabric is not holding up very well. I wasn't really expecting it to, but I also wasn't expecting him to love it as much as he does, and he wants to wear it all the time. And I've even let him wear it out of the house as like a jacket because he just would not go anywhere without it. And that makes my heart happy, of course. I love that, and I want to have that feeling for my own stuff. So that's the goal. Isn't this so cute? The fabric glows in the dark. Should be able to show you that. And like I said, I just about picked it up and I'm seeing that the thing is ripped. It's got a rip on it. So we'll have to fix that for sure. But yeah, he loves this. He sleeps in it. I do take the tie off at night. Terrified of him using that for bad. But he loves this thing. And it was really fun to make, even with the, different kind of fabrics. That terry towel was super easy to work with. It's lined. The pattern was perfect. That turned out great. I want to do more of that. So, next, okay, I'm going to do mine next. So, the very first thing I made, or attempted to make, what's this? I've had this pattern a long time, not as old as it is. But I've had it a long time. I've always wanted to make this green dress with the long sleeves. I know these are very like dated. Of course, they're kind of in style now. But I was looking for just a really simple, like house dress, I call it. I can leave the house in it, but I can also go out to the pond with my son and play with frogs in it kind of dress in the summertime. So I had this really cute brown gauze, cotton gauze fabric that I got from the Smart Art thrift store, of course, up in Nashville. And everything went great. It's got this facing. I should be showing footage of me wearing it, and you will see. It is way too big, even with the ease. So I did not take into account the insane ease. I think I even sized down, but it's still just way too oversized for me. And it's too big up here, and you will see a reoccurring theme of the first thing I need to learn how to do, and that is a full bust adjustment. Because my things are either really big in the shoulders or really small in the bust. Speaking of really small in the bust, the next make was going to be a matching set. The pants turned out great. I've showed these right here. I just need to hem them and maybe do something a little funky and cute with the bottoms of them, like flare them out or something. I used this pattern, the pants, just little pull-on pants. Worked great, super easy, and this is a really great pattern to customize. So I just threw these together right out of the package just to see what it would do. This fabric is kind of sentimental, very sentimental. It was from my mother's stash. She made jackets with it. And it's like, this is my mother in a fabric. So I really wanted to make something I was going to really wear. And these pants I will wear. Even though they're not perfect, they are really cute and really comfortable. And like I said, really easy to customize. So I call these a win. But what I don't call a win is the top I tried to make to match that. I tried to do this bodysuit. I think I tried the V-neck, or the wrap, fake wrap. I thought it was a real wrap. It's a fake wrap. And this knit, it's my fault. This knit is a stable knit, so it's stretchy, but it's not super stretchy. And I think the bodysuit needs to be super stretchy, or I should have sized up. I did neither of those, and so this is the last attempt. See, I even went through all the trouble of finishing the edges. Looks so nice on the inside. I was a little disappointed when I got started to learn that this is a faux wrap, which meant that between it being a stable knit and a faux wrap, my boobs don't fit. My boobs don't fit. I can't even try this on for you to show you because it will not go past my shoulders. So what I learned from this is that, again, so it was really big in the shoulders. So I was like, well, I'll just take it in there and it'll be fine. Well, I did that and it just screwed it all up. So I've learned that I need to be doing a full bust adjustment, and I need to treat a stable knit as almost a woven, like size up and really think about the pattern. Really think about, well, the ease of the pattern, or lack of ease, as well as the fabric itself, like how stretchy it is or is not, and size up or whatever accordingly. I need to learn how to do a full bust adjustment, period. Really disappointed that this did not work out. This is the most disappointing thing. It was going to be so cute, and I'm not really sure how to salvage this from here. So, I mean, the seams are, like I said, I finished the seams with my serger that I now can't figure out how to get to work. See, how cute. So well done, yet so unwearable. Next up is this one. I wore this technically, and I have a video of me making this. And this is very vintage, very cute little wrap skirt, true wrap skirt. What I didn't take into account, and I was so excited to wear this, and I did wear it on the cruise. I do not have footage because I was so self-conscious that it was going to fly open in the back, because it wraps in the back, that it was going to fly open in the back and show all my goods off. So I wore it, I think, around the cruise, and I think I wore it to dinner. And then we were going to go to a show or something. I was like, I've got to get out of this skirt. I am so uncomfortable. I can't focus on anything else but my butt not showing. And that was it. Because I did not take into account, this is just cotton fabric. Very expensive fabric that I've also had for a very long time. And that I also talk about extensively in 2 or 3 other videos. But I was like, oh, it's a wrap skirt, so it'll fit. Well, no, honey, it won't. I do not have a big caboose. I do not have birthing hips. I am actually a rectangle shape with big boobs. So the bottom half of me should be very standard to fit, but this would not fit. It just barely flaps over. Flaps over? Crosses over? Whatever. You can see in the video, in the footage here. And because it wraps in the back, I couldn't really tell if I was exposed or not. Oh, that really wasn't fun. I was very disappointed that I did wear this on Halloween Day. That's what I did. That's what it was. I wore this on Halloween Day and then went back to the room and we changed into our costumes. Because they had like a costume party, of course. With a costume contest and all that kind of thing. Super fun. I'll put up a picture of our costumes. We did get our pictures made for that. It was super fun. Probably the best part of that cruise, to be honest. So yeah, disappointed, but I did a really good job on like cute little details on this one that I would love to do again. Like on the pockets, you know, like a little decorative stitch. And I really took my time. I did a cute little rolled over narrow hem. It turned out really good. And it taught me that even with a wrap skirt, even with something with no fasteners, you need to make sure it's going to fit all the way around you enough to be comfortable. And I also learned that cotton fabric, you can do a lot with cotton fabric. So we're going to be getting into that more later on in my channel in general. Okay, the last two are the two best ones as far as garments. Last sewing make is the one that I wore the most. I wore this 2 or 3 times on the cruise. I love how it turned out. It's the first time I've ever matched a pattern to fabric successfully ever. So I made this version, except I did add the ties because I like stuff with ties. But I didn't tie it. And again, I have footage here of me wearing it. This is I assume a rayon challis, some kind of challis fabric. It's got these little, I call it my pirate dress because it's got like letters on it. It would be cute to wear for like Valentine's Day as like a non-pink, non-red Valentine's Day outfit. Like date night. That's a good idea. It's already warming up around here in Tennessee, so doable. I took my time with this. The directions were perfect. No problems. Has a little elastic waist. Like I said, I added the ties to the top because I just like that look a lot. But like I said, I don't tie them or anything. I just leave them dangling. I even put this one in backwards and I even went through and fixed it properly. This one was a lot of fun to work on. A lot. And the challis was not that hard to work with at all. Like I thought it was going to be. Elasticated waist, like I said, it's got pockets, which was really fun to do. My hem is not super straight at all, but I kind of ran out of time. And when you got it on and it's configured and you have the belt on, you really can't tell. It wasn't a big deal. I mean, it didn't keep me from wearing it 2 or 3 times. And I'm ready for the weather to warm up just a little bit more and I'll wear it. I made the tie with it and I made it extra long because that's what I like. I like to be able to tie it around me a few times and do like an off-center bow. That's what I do with that kind of thing. I love how that turned out. I want to do more of that. And that is all of the sewing garments that I made last year. Like I said, I was super focused on making things for the cruise because I knew if I just made things willy-nilly, I wouldn't have gotten this far at all. You know, it's because I had a focus and an event to wear the stuff to and a plethora of fabrics that all kind of went together and fit the theme that I was able to get this stuff done. And I've learned a lot. Okay. Should I do quilts? No, I'm going to do this knit top. Then we'll talk more about sewing. Okay. So I learned to knit. I taught myself to knit after a really bad breakup in the early 2000s. And I have only knit 2 things since then. And I haven't knit anything. I haven't picked up my knitting needles. Didn't even know where they were. For many years. I mean, probably 15 years or so. But again, I wanted to knit something for the cruise. I thought it would be good. And this was going to be a transitional piece to wear in the car down there, because we drove down there to Miami or Florida, somewhere. From Tennessee to Florida, we drove. So I needed, and it was October. So, you know, it was cold when we left, and then we drove to where it's warm. So my idea was to make this sweater. And I actually had the yarn that a few other people used. This no longer made. I'll put it up on the screen. I can't remember the name of it. And I knit a Blame sweater. Now on camera, what I hate, I do have a picture of us. I think we're at the Florida Welcome Center or something, and I'm wearing it. And it comes across as just like a black sweater, but it's definitely not. It's a really pretty orange thing, and it's got a little jack-o'-lantern on the front. It's cropped. I did just elbow length sleeves because that's what I like. I think I sized up just a little bit because the one she's wearing is very snug. I don't want it that snug. And like I said, on camera, in pictures, it doesn't come across very flattering or very pumpkin-y. But in real life, and me wearing it, I love it. It's just one of those things. I know it's not super flattering, but I don't know, I just love it. It's just so dang cute. It's so comfortable to wear. So, very, very proud of that. Oh, you can kind of tell really good right there. Thumbnail! So yeah, this turned out great, and it made me want to knit more and more things. Okay, so let's talk about sewing before I get into the quilts. There's really nothing to do but show you the quilts. But I take the same approach with quilting and making quilts that I do with sewing. Very intentional, very slow, take my time. I am not trying to churn out just mass produce of stuff, you know, clothes, quilts. I'm not trying to do all that. I'm very selective. So that's why I only made 3 quilt tops, because they were for very specific reasons. Mostly the reason was to use up a lot of my fabric stash. So quilting fabric stash. So on sewing, I finished 3 quilts last year. I have 3 quilt tops to show you. First one I'll get out of the way because I am in the process of hand quilting it, which is my preferred most of the time when I can do it. This is I call it the Christmassy quilt. It's got, I'll put up the pattern, and actually it's a free pattern. I think I've linked it below because I talked about it below. I've talked about it in videos before. But quilt top is all done. I had the batting for it already, and then like I said, I just sourced secondhand fabric for the back. It's really cute, like vibrant pine cones. I love pine cones. I guess because I grew up with pine trees in my yard, and so I played with the pine cones a lot and got sap all over everything all the time. But I love pine trees and I love pine cones. So, yeah, I've done some big stitching just around these, and now I'm going to do just regular hand quilting around the bigger blocks. I'm currently working on that. And then the other 2, I wanted to do a fall quilt, and I have videos of me working on this and starting it, so I actually have it finished. And I went back and forth on doing the pumpkins at the bottom. I'll try to put up a better picture so you can see all of it. Almost didn't do the pumpkins at the bottom just because it's not really my thing. But I'm so glad I did because it's so cute. So cute. This was all Stash Fabrics. And I had a lot of fun picking the fabrics out. So I learned that process I really enjoy, picking out all the fabrics, especially when I can get everything out of my stash. So that was really fun. And then the last one is kind of sad and dramatic, but I think I mentioned this one too. So I finished this baby quilt top. Again, I'll put up a better picture. I don't know why I'm trying to do it in this frame. I finished this quilt top, and I'll have the pattern magazine that it came from available on the screen or something down below. And I made this to possibly give to my niece who had a baby back in October. And it was going to be like a cutesy October, but not like spooky, got little frogs on it, so cute, quilt for a little boy. And the baby shower came and went, and my invitation was lost in the mail, which I'm not completely surprised about, but I kind of used that as an excuse to just do a baby quilt, just because baby quilts are fun and quick. So I finished it, even though the baby shower was not to be for me. And then right around that time, we'll try to talk about this without getting too upset. Right around that time in October, we rescued a dog. We named her Daisy, and I'll put up a picture, and I'm going to talk faster about it because it makes me sad. I was going to give this to her. I was going to make this for her. And then when we got her home, she was a puppy. She was young, so she was still chewing on everything. I was like, well, I'll wait and finish this for the springtime or the bad weather when we bring her inside or whatever. So I waited and didn't finish this, and then a few weeks ago she got hit by a car and died. So now I have this baby quilt that kind of doesn't have any good memories attached to it. It's like cursed now, right? So now what do I do with this thing? I don't know. I don't want to finish it and have it in my house. I kind of want to finish it and like give it to a hospital or somebody that just had a baby, that something. I don't know. I don't want to keep that in my house. It's kind of sad. But all in all, like I said, what I'm doing with my sewing for this year is just more intentional sewing and more intentional plans, more intentional sourcing. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's a little bit different. I'm a little bit all over the place and chatty, but so that is all I made last year. And for me, that's a lot. That's the most I've ever made in an entire year, because I had a good focus and I was doing things intentionally and for a reason and using my stash. So I still have plenty of stash to go through and make things with. I do want to take my time and learn how to do those adjustments, those body adjustments. And I have a really good fitting book that I want to use, and I'm gonna share it with y'all because it has a method in it that I have not seen anywhere. Not to be dramatic, but it's pretty cool, pretty exciting. So I'm gonna use that and any kind of other library resources that they have for garment making. And they do have a good bit. And I'm just gonna go from there. I want you to join me, and we will make intentional stuff together. Bye.